First thing in the body.
It's already pissed off, and I haven't even done anything to
You
it.
just be.
You gotta whisper sweet
Here,
nothing.
watch.
Say who's your daddy, Kevin? Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy?
See, you didn't see it, but
Kind of like to twirl and dancing.
Yeah. Hi, baby. You want to put? I can put her with Moo, or what do you want to do?
sure.
That's Moo Cow, and she's about as lovely as you get. Hi, baby. Hi, sweet.
Is this your education animal?
That's one of our educational animals. She is a known professional. She is just wonderful and sweet, and she's got a very sweet temperament, and her brain is on point. She knows what people are about, and people are a good part of her world and a good part of her life.
Never had any bad experiences with
Not
her?
a single
No,
one. I love her
that's
too
good.
much. So we just did, if Donnie ends up using some of the video we just did, we now have a professional. Come on, professional. Move. Move the snake. You are now in the spots.
Let me get my protection off.
There you go. No.
You might want to keep that protection on.
So this is a big female pied retic, and you want to respect something this big. They tend to be a bit more reactive, and we are making some pied retics this year that we actually worked on socializing. Here's a little baby. So we make some really nice high white pied retics, and they're sweet. Hey, sweetie. But sadly, this is a snake that I didn't produce when it was little, so we got her with a little bit of size, and so she's always just been a little bit something you need to be wary of. So you have to have respect for this animal, and you need to, if you handle her with respect, and G's doing really well, he's flowing with her, and he's just reading her body language, which is everything. So he doesn't need to push anything for the speed of this video, because the most important thing is just not going too far. There we go. Keeping. He wants to keep control of that first part of the body. Manage that big snake. Very good. That was impressive. All right. Show us. This is Jason from Jason's Exotics. Come on, camera. Focus. Oh, this is definitely bubblegum. Okay. So there's a defensive animal. Whew. But my babies are wonderful.
Nice band. I like those.
Look at that. So, when an animal sits here with his mouth open like this, he's telling you, I am afraid. We're looming over him. So all of this are all the things that generally, if you want to have the best disposition of an animal, you want to try to not get them in this position. But we are cleaning the cage, so when you clean the cage, you have to manipulate the animal out of the cage. Plus he's got a lot of food in him. I think Jason's grabbing him way too far back, and that's going to only add to it because Jason's fearing the nippy part. Keep going, keep going. Now get further up his body, further up.
Further up.
Yeah, he wasn't even doing anything. Here. So he's just gonna try to do that little bluffy thing, but he's not really committed. Further.
Thank you, Jason.
There you go. Up. Hold on, slow. Good. Jason from Jason's Exotics was here, and he was managing them, and there was definitely room for some improvements and stuff like that. So I kind of just took the animal that they actually, Gianni and he were dealing with, and the animal was kind of upset, super defensive, and I showed that even when it's really defensive like that, I could still end up managing that animal and get it back into its cage and have kind of a low expression of its reactiveness. So now we're going to deal with the female. This is a female pied. She's a little bit nervous. Just my last video on my phone was with her. So I just used my hook. So remember, as soon as I'm towering over the snake, that's one of the unlovely points for this snake to have to deal with. Very, very, hey sweetie. She's just, what she does, she gets a little defensive and then she'll coil up on my hand. So I use the hook just kind of as a last resort. Put my hook down because now I'm committing to holding the snake. I do often have to, yeah, this bin is not the ultimate. So at this point, I need to know what the stress points are. And she's got herself on the inside lip of this bin. So if I just haul off and don't appreciate that she's actually starting to panic, then I could easily upset her. So at this point, she's calming down, she's thinking. So now my tongue flicks, I'm back to where I want to be. So basically, it's just understanding what her mindset is and what she's actually thinking and actually what's actually stressing her out. So, of course, I have to come
You're all good.
towards you. But see, I do have my hand right here and I'm not afraid of her grabbing me, even though she'll openly, sometimes when she gets scared, she'll take little pot shots at somebody. And at this point, I could put her with Moo and get her to calm down even further as she has a nice cage to go into. Hi, baby. So one very important point. Don't try to manage a snake like this by grabbing her midsection or lower without first managing forward part of her body. There you go. So she's a little.
She give me a hard time, Kevin?
No, she's not getting hard time. Hey, baby. I'm gonna wait for her head to come back up. I don't like that bin for her is tough. So this is the kind of thing that if you horse this animal, you're gonna do something that's gonna be a negative in her life. And if you continue to do that kind of stuff, you're gonna continue to reinforce negative behaviors from this animal. So at this point, we're all good. But you can take, a lot of people just make mistakes. I notice when I watch people handle snakes and they start having problems, these are like little things that we could just rethink how we manage these guys. We end up doing better.
So are all pied retics kind of like this, or is just your pied retic?
Well, they've seen that maybe in the genetics, they can be a wee bit nervous. So reactive, remember guys, I always call it reactive. It means instead of actually just weighing through and thinking, they may actually, okay, I'm not gonna think, I'm just gonna get scared and I'm gonna, strike or something like that. So when I say they're reactive, we just can't depend on the brain to be as solid as Moo. So this is a great contrast between Moo right over here and this pyretic. This is an animal you don't put in front of people and expect everything to be safe. Because she's defensive and she's scared of people. Moo is very trusting of people and very reliable. She's not reactive at all because her brain is completely set on people. This animal, we can definitely win this animal over. And so like my little pied retics that I have now, we hatched out this year, I started handling as soon as they came out of the eggs, and I kept handling through all that scary time, and now they're actually really sweet and they are just amazing. She's going to tie up pretty good. So I'm going to put her back, I'm going to put her in this cage.
We should document Kevin's trials with the pied retics and socializing them again at an adult age. People probably want to see what your progress is. You don't think so?
That'd be great. I know what the progress will be. But I just felt like this is a good example of, it just depends all about how somebody handles a snake. So even if you have a snake that is maybe nervous and a little bit untrusting, if you handle it in a certain way with some finesse and you actually understand behavior of animals, of reticulated pythons and snakes especially. I feel like to a certain degree I'm pretty astute as far as what they're kind of going to do and what they're actually kind of thinking. So a lot of snakes to me are not like this sudden change in behavior. I'm usually able to anticipate that, but a lot of those behaviors are also because of me and how I'm interacting with the animal. So if I'm doing stupid things as I'm handling them, I will then make it worse or I'll make it better, and I can trigger things. So when you're handling snakes, I don't care if it's a little, Texas rat snake that sometimes can be very reactive, opening its mouth, striking, being very scared. The position of your body over that animal, whenever you're over them and you're looming over them, that's a very scary moment to these guys. As you put an animal up higher and get it out of the line of sight where it actually can look down, that brings things down. I constantly have the same kind of behavior. You'll see in the other video that you're going to do a compilation of, I did a lot of twirling, Donnie. I thought I was I was going to do some dancing or something. Yeah, it's the only time I'm ever going to dance. So when I'm dancing with my snakes. But hopefully some of this stuff, if you can piece it all together, it was still, there's a lot of, I thought, like educational content. What do you think, G?
Definitely.
So G is...
Are you teaching him to be more like you, Kevin?
He's learning. It's just, but this isn't something that just naturally comes. This is like very, very subtle behavior. So if you talk about somebody who's really good around horses, and they can manage all around this big, wonderful beast that is clearly capable of hurting you and giving you a horrific injury in some cases. But there's people that are really, they read every little thing with the horse, and they just move around the horse, and they're flowing around the horse. That's the magic. That's that handler's magic. And so I'm trying to basically take, if you want to call what I have, magic, and I always kind of think of it as like that. And I'm teaching it to G.
Does Gianni have magic?
Yep, he's developing some magic. He's one of the hardest things is to have confidence in what you're doing. So like G and Jason didn't want to get involved with the closer part of the snake to its head where it could bite them because they just weren't really that sure of anything, whereas I kind of very willing to do that, and that's like part of flowing and stuff like that. But it takes a lot, and just in G's defense, I've seen tons and tons and tons of snake handlers that have a lot of experience handling snakes, and for some reason they just seem like it's missing. They just don't have it, and it's very they just have these weird awkward kind of relationships with these animals. But these are very large constrictors, and if you manage them with certain aspects that I'm trying to convey, you can really do wonderful things with them. And there's some people that are really good at handling big snakes. They have the confidence. So even I'd say Jay over at Prehistorics. Jay will handle big snakes like that. He's not skitzed out. He's very confident. He's not worried about getting bit and stuff like that. And Jay has a lot of big snakes. So just Jay's general settled nature around handling those animals is shown when he's dealing with those big retics. And that is kind of like what you have to do. You have to actually almost act like you're not going to get bit. All right, hopefully you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell. And of course, let's hear your comments. Behind door number 3. So Jason, so when I was giving you instruction, why wouldn't you do it?
All I'm getting to is the front third of that snake. The front third is where you get bit. That's biting.
But how come I did it? And I did it after you and G made that snake upset.
You woke him up. I woke him up from a nap.
And he was on fire and he's like lunging.
Well, he was like, oh, it's Daddy. Daddy's here.
Oh, is that what it was?
It is. Oh, hi, Daddy. Yeah.
Okay, so.
You were like, who's your daddy?
Okay, so let's do little lady over here. Come on, let's do it.
All right.
Who's gonna do it?
You gonna do it? Why was gonna wake him up?
So why don't you want to get towards the first third of the body?
Because
I like what you just say. Like, there ain't no way I'm getting towards that first thing of the body.
It's already pissed off, and I haven't even done anything to
You're
it.
just being.
You gotta whisper sweet.
Here,
Watch.
watch.
Say who's your daddy, Kevin. Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy? Yeah, see? I'm not.
No, hold on.
Once
Here,
again.
here.
Yeah, why don't you get towards the front
Oh,
there?
yeah, I will get towards the front.
Yeah. It's like, here, I need 2 hands.
Yeah, I was gonna just do it with my hands.
No.
I just need to know. Hi, baby.
It's because getting bit it's not fun. See, he would have nailed me in the face. Why don't you get a little closer at it?
No, hold on. Come here. Hi, baby. I know. Come here. Just let her kind of take it all in for a second.
Uh-huh.
Hi, baby.
See, you didn't see it, but
I like to twirl and dance.
Yeah.
Hi, baby. Behold the nightmare. Hi, baby. He's actually shedding. So, wow, he is jacked. Hi, baby. I know. See how like when I got towards the front part of his body and I didn't react to it?
He was weirded out. He was like, what is this?
But he was way worse because he was already triggered by what you guys just did.
Right.
Compared to whatever, but still how I did that, and then at one point I committed to that, but I didn't really have to do anything, and he doesn't want to bite. He's just doing that because he's kind of like losing his stuff. But you see how, whatever, Jason, you see what I'm talking about?
that was good. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I didn't get
Confidence.
well, but yeah, you're just reading and stuff, and your hand being softer on them is just that much better too. Like that hook will use that kind of like initially just to kind of get it into place, but the soft hand and the movement is just kind of nice and smooth.
So when you're